If a poem could prevent a civil war. If a poem could prevent a civil war, that we could achieve and cherish a just and lasting peace by imagining a new birth of freedom, of, by, and for the people, we would write it. If a dance could bring a peaceful transfer of power, flowing like water over a wheel, we would dance it. If a song could sing away the fear and distrust between North and South, me and you, we would sing it. If a painting could portray the hopes people pray when we are quiet and look within, we would paint that painting, giving new birth to peace on earth. If a poem or prayer could prevent a civil war, birthing freedom without cease, we would write and pray every day, even with something disturbing the peace. Liberate Michigan. These are very good people, with guns and flags, both American and Confederate. Stand back and stand by. Armed men with swastikas and nooses cry. Words are issued and have their call. Terrorists plot the state to fall, to kidnap and execute an elected governor, to seize and behead Gretchen Whitmer. Rather than comfort the Michigan leader, the president remains an angry tweeter, fixated on his political survival like a tin-pot tyrant calls jail for his rival. Deserving mercy and grace, but showing none, he calls for help from a world undone. Ghosts of the Civil War haunt us today. White-sheeted souls, eyes of black holes, terrorizing with fear and forcing their way. Now see another great Michigan leader. She descended from Africa and of color, passing through that militia on the street. She has been elected to represent her state, including the armed crowd now marching in hate. Walking with the memory of her great-grandfather, who was seized by a similar clench-fisted mob, grandfather's soul whose neck was cinched and breath was choked as he was lynched. Granddaughter now with grace is guided by the inspired one who declared the love of power yields to the power of love. We, the people, rather than incite lawless violence, to Dr. King are beholden. Absent the president, here I stand in solidarity with Congresswoman Kira Harris Bolden. If a poem could prevent a civil war, that we could achieve and cherish a just and lasting peace by imagining a new birth of freedom, of, by, and for the people, we would write it, we would live it. Knowing that red is not the enemy, neither is blue. Fear and ignorance and bigotry are our obstacles to what is true. If our source of news is fearful and hateful, we are free to choose another more grateful. If people are loved not just for the color of their skin, but also for the content of their character, we can feel safe and give thanks. If poetry and prayer were more powerful than gunpowder, we would be a peaceful, loving people, bringing love to hatred, forgiveness to wrong. Resting in peace and staying strong, we would fulfill the dream that others before us. With malice toward none, with charity for all, with firmness in the right, as God gives us to see the right, let us strive on to finish the work we are in, to bind up the nation's wounds, that we may achieve and cherish a just and lasting peace among ourselves and with all nations.